you're already a veteran on these Zoom chats, so it works.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Zoom lately. Here's the thing though. I feel when we were talking about economics with Ackrill,
Yeah.
have people purchased Zoom stock?
Right?
Yeah, because this is a whole new way that the world's going to operate. Like more people are going to stay home, and more people, like, I think people that are in offices that manage those things are going to be like, we could save a truckload of money by just letting these people stay at their houses.
Right.
Yeah. So buy your Zoom stock.
We're gonna bring that up, in fact, right now, because here we are live, and it's a new week. Stay home Hawaii, and very special guest today, because this marks the first guest that I have not had in person with, of all the previous guests, but I've always wanted to have. Jen Ackrill is here. Everyone, welcome. Yes. Hi, Jen. Yeah, exactly. And with each guest, I wear a shirt to commemorate your appearance here, because I don't wear any clothes. We're all just, I have no pants on right now, so I'm just here with this shirt because it's time to play dress up. So I decided to dedicate. I got one of these shirts, so I joined the bandwagon. Shout out anti. Do you know who they are? I'm sure you do.
I don't.
You don't? Oh.
No, I see it everywhere. Do you? Like, you can tell me?
No, because I saw Kyle wearing it, so I'm like.
And then I saw Noah Hilani had one. You have one.
So then I just went on the site. He told me, okay, it's on the site. They sell it. It's fast. So I thought it was from here, like a local company, because it took like 2 days, 2 or 3 days to show up in the mail. So shout out those guys, if you're local or not. The people that don't know, give us your background, give us your history. You're world renowned in the cocktail.
I don't know about world.
You have your own triple sec, all right? You have your own triple sec.
I'm Walmart famous.
Yes. So what led to that? What led to you getting a triple sec bottle? What's the history?
So where I came from, I started. I've been in the restaurant industry since I was like 20. I only started bartending when I was like 27 or 28. So I've been like a server, mostly a server the whole entire time. But I started bartending in San Francisco at Blowfish Sushi. And as a lot of people did, I lied about being able to bartend. But it wasn't a big deal, because at Blowfish, it was just beer, wine, and sake. And I was like, well, I can read up about sake. It's not that hard. And I was there for like a month. And remember, I told them I knew how to bartend. So they came up to me after a month and they were like, hey, we have some great news for you. We got our liquor license. So in 30 days, we're going to have a full bar. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Right.
I was that. So I grabbed any book I could find. And at the time, this is like 1997. And there were only books that were put out by like liquor companies, and like just little tiny, like, these are how you make 75 different kinds of martinis.
Right.
Because like the whole martini craze. And I just read everything that I could. I studied a Mr. Boston's book from front to back. And the one thing that I walked away from that is that I know how to make a godfather, which I was worried, like that first week of bartending, I was terrified that someone's going to ask me to make like a godfather or a godmother, and I'm going to screw them up. And in my career of bartending, so from 1997 until now, 3 times somebody's asked me to make a godfather, and it's always been in that sort of like, do you know how to make a godfather?
Right.
Like,
and what is a godfather for people that don't know?
It's Scotch and amaretto. That's it. And godmother is vodka and amaretto.
Got it.
Obviously.
Makes perfect sense.
Obviously.
Wow.
So, yeah, nobody has ever asked me to make a godmother, because godfathers are just kind of like rusty nails with amaretto.
Wow. And
yeah, so they're tasty. But yeah, nobody really has ever asked me to make a godmother. But yeah, I did that in like 97, 98. I bartended in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I bartended in LA. And then I moved out here in 2014.
Nice.
And in 2000, I don't think people realize how far this island has come. For me, only the time that I've been here, and I'm not saying that it's by me by any stretch. I'm just saying that my experience of being here for 5 years, the industry has grown exponentially.
Totally.
Like, it's crazy. Like when I first got here, I couldn't get a job mostly because I had like a little bit of a name attached to me. They're like, oh, there's that chick from San Francisco. And I get it. I get it now. I didn't before. I was like, hey, why doesn't somebody want to hire me? Because if you move anywhere to San Francisco with even a like speckling of bar talent, you get snatched up right away. And it was not the same for me here. But
Right.
it's because there were not a lot of places. There were so few places and everybody had their team.
Right.
You know?
I was going to say, is it just because of the way the industry was at that time? And it wasn't.
Yeah. There just wasn't a lot of places around. And two, I understand now that like people don't come here to stay. And so it's hard to like invest time and energy into new people when they realize that that first year is really hard and they just say, screw it, I'm going back home.
Yeah.
And now I understand that. But before I was like, I got rid of my place in San Francisco. Like, this has to work for me.
Right.
Yeah.
You came here by yourself? You were here solo to fly?
No. My husband and I came out together.
You're already married at this point, and then you're in. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That's another thing too. Like, I don't know how, like, if you're single coming out here could be challenging too, because like we're all swimming in the same pool and it's not a very big pool.
Right. It's usually boyfriend, girlfriend situation. Boyfriend breaks up with girlfriend, girlfriend breaks up with boyfriend, and then they're out, right?
Yeah, I still got it. He's up on the roof.
Right. You mentioned, okay, so 2014 was when you were, and so that was very interesting because in my to parallel that, I got into this whole cocktail scene that the thing that grew me was from Nobu and Dave Newman, right? Shout out, of course, we all know and love the man, yes. And then that evolved into Pinal Jigger, which was I think 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Around yeah, so then that kind of was the first evolutions of well, having cocktails at Nobu was very odd because I never expected to eat sushi and then have cocktail called the business, or smoking gun. So that grew my interest, and then you coming in at 2014, that was kind of when things were starting to slowly here and there spots.
Yeah.
What was your first 2014?
So for me, it was, and again, I was new, so I didn't know like a lot of places, right? So I knew from like a national scope was, you know, Manifest, Bevy, Pinal Jigger. That was really all I knew because I came like uneducated. I tried to be as educated as possible coming out, but not educated enough because there was, you know, Town and like a million other places.
Right.
You know, 12th Avenue. Yeah. I had no clue about that. I got hired at Salt in the very last week it was open. Speaking of.
Oh, wow. Wow.
The very last week Salt was open. I walked in because I had like a couple of doors that like were kind of open and then were shut. And I was just like, I'm not letting this kid not hire me. And I like shoved my resume under my arm and there you go. Shoved my resume under my arm, walked in there, and I was kind of like, you have to hire me. And
wow. Shout out Keola Warren, shout out Quinn Muse.
Yeah, that was Quinn. Quinn was the one that
Yeah.
Quinn was the one that sent me over there. He was like, they're looking for a bartender right now. And I was like, I'm going.
Wow.
So, I hadn't bartended. That was probably like in like September. So I got here in August. So I hadn't, and I left working at Rye in like June, like the first week in June. So I hadn't bartended that whole time.
Oh, right.
And you get like anxious where you're like when you're creative, right? You need to produce, and if you can't get it out. Yeah.
Wow. The whole time spent. So then, okay, so you're in there and they're closed a week later. So what's going through your mind at that point?
I need a job. I just need a job. Any kind of job. I just need one. And I had been talking with the cats at Top Waikiki throughout this process. Like I talked to one of the owners on a train from New York to Pennsylvania, like through the woods of Pennsylvania. And some of the conversation was like, we don't believe in fresh juices. And I was like, cool, I can't do that.
Right.
And then it got to the point where I was like, I'll just go make shitty Mai Tais. Like I can do that.
Right.
It's not that hard.
The tourist game.
I'll just sell my soul. Yeah, but that actually was like the best move I made. It wasn't the
Yep.
place that I wanted to be, but it was 100% the place that I was supposed to be.
And that led to Sky Waikiki. Was that the next? How?
Yeah,
When did Sky open?
2015. So I got to top at in October of
Yeah.
2014, and then 2015 Sky opened up.
And that was full control for you as the
So
program.
both top and Sky. So when I got into top, I just kind of walked in very gently and just pointed out some things. Like one of the things that was wrong was that the printer and the station where the servers made their drinks
Yeah.
was here, and on the other side of the round bar was where they kept the glassware. So the wine is here, the glassware is here, and you make it. So every time you would go, you'd waste 13 seconds.
How long were you at Sky? How
Until last September. So like 2019. So with the company for like 5 years.
got it.
But
Oh yeah.
yeah, now I don't know what I'm doing.
Anyone really? But
We're just waiting for Dave.
let's go with the pit stop that you made. That was a big eye opener to hear. Is that you worked at Pinal Jigger? You were at Pinal Jigger for a brief period. What time frame was that? Was that immediately after you left Sky, or?
Yeah, I left Sky. My last day was August 30th, or what? Yeah, right, 30. Is it 30 or 31 days in August?
31. I'm just
So
making.
August 31st.
I have no idea. Okay. We'll
Wait,
go.
January, February, March, April, May,
Oh
June.
yes, I forgot about that.
30.
I totally forgot about that. Okay, and then from there,
Yeah, and then I took like 2 weeks off, and then I went over. But I had asked Dave. I was like, "Yo, do you have?" I sent him a text message. I was like, "Do you have any room for an overexposed bartender?" And he was like, "If that overexposed bartender is you, yeah, come on over."
of course.
So, yeah, it was so cool. But it blew a lot of people's mind that I would leave like a program that I ran to just go and bartend. But for me, it was. I am grateful for my time at Sky on top of Waikiki, and I loved every second of it. It was hard, but I wanted to have I just wanted more local people to know who I was.
Right.
You know, like I wanted to meet you. I wanted to, get to know the book club.
Right.
Like, I knew those girls. I'd met them like a couple of times, but I was like desperate. I was like, oh, they're so cool, and I want to hang out with them.
Right, and that's initially what you were trying to figure out before you even got to Sky. You wanted to have that, right?
Yeah. I've always wanted to be part of like the community, and Waikiki is its own community. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I wanted definitely just to be able to have people know who I was and know that I was like here for the long haul and here to make like an imprint and hopefully do good. Like,
right.
keep some minds and.
Speaking of local people, shout out to Ozna, who.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Ozna don't drink, and
I know.
the DJ at Sky. Tell us some of the non-alcoholic drinks that blew him away. Apparently, he was very excited to mention this. So.
Oh yeah, I guess. I was thinking about like what I would have made him, but a lot of the times it's like I forget more of the drinks that I know how to make. So we probably would have I probably would have put some like kind of spiced water in it because for the non-alcoholic. Oh, I know which one it was. I know exactly which one it was. So there was we always had about like 3 non-alcoholic drinks on the menu.
Okay.
And one of them was this like coffee tonics. Like a couple years ago, coffee tonics were kind of like the big thing, right? Like it was like coffee and tonic water, which just seems super weird, but
really, that was people really literally coffee and tonic water was the thing.
Water. Yeah.
Wow.
And so I branched off of that and put like lilikoi and some like citrus, and so just like cold brew coffee, lilikoi, a little lime, some sugar, and tonic. And so when you're writing a menu, you kind of have an idea of what you think is going to be like. These are probably going to be really big sellers. These are for the nerds. This one's just like me showing off, right? And so these guys up here pay for the ones that are showing off down at the bottom. And that coffee one, I thought for sure would be like the third, like of the 3 non-alcoholic drinks. I thought the coffee one would for sure be at the bottom. That thing sold like hotcakes.
Really?
Yeah, super weird. I'm like, it doesn't even read well. It was like coffee, lilikoi, tonic water.
How much coffee? Like, what's the ratio here? Like, is it supposed to be heavy caffeinated, or is it just to give a kick?
It wasn't like a tall venti, you know, like at pint. It
Right.
wasn't that much coffee.
Right.
It was maybe like an ounce of cold brew in it.
Really?
Yeah, so like an ounce of cold brew, probably like an ounce of lilikoi, maybe like half an ounce of lime, a little bit of sugar just to balance it out, and then top it with tonic.
Wow.
Like hotcakes. Weirdest thing.
Well, other than caffeine, he's out till like 5 in the morning anyway. Makes sense.
He's a dude that I would love to live in his brain. Him and Justin Park. I'd love to live in their brain for one day because I don't have the energy to spend more than a day in their brain because they're both so crazy talented, and I feel that they probably never sleep because they have ideas coming at them all the time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would love to spend a day in both of their brains.
Good luck. One leaves. That's pretty much they're on parallel. So.
Just be like, can I stay for a day?
You got that right.
Yeah, they're rad dudes.
A crazy dude here is let's go to Dave Newman. Let's go to Dave Newman and how.
Who is Dave Newman?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have the best Dave Newman story. There was a cat that was in Pint who was, and people do this all the time, like throw his name around, which is why I like the hashtag I know Dave.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, right? It's a real thing.
Some made an IG.
Yeah.
I know Dave. It was me. Sorry.
There was a dude that was telling me about Dave. He was like, "Oh, do you know him?" And I was like, "No, they haven't introduced me to him yet."
Oh, okay.
Just fuck with him a little bit.
Right.
And so Dave then comes out of the kitchen from Harry's, and I walk over, and so the guy is like over here at the corner of the bar.
Yeah.
I'm standing here, and Dave is here. Like they're within earshot of each other. And I said to Dave, I was like, I just want you to know that this guy knows you, but I'm pretty sure you could go stand next to him and he wouldn't know anything. But I already told him that I didn't know who you were. So you're pretty safe. But it's amazing. It's phenomenal. People, I think, and this is true of any bar, I think, in any place.
Yeah.
You just like it makes such an impression on you.
Yeah.
That you latch onto it and feel as if it's yours. You know?
Yeah.
And those personalities all behind the bar are like they're your people, you know?
No, and that's the good thing about the cocktail culture, but Hawaii cocktail culture, like I've said to Kyle, like I've said to Dave, I mean, the cocktail industry in Hawaii is the most supportive of each other. Mm-hmm. Everyone supports each other, unlike any type of other genre that I've seen. You always, everybody got everybody's backs. You know, Kyle's going to do this IG show. You're going to have a lot of people tuning in because they all want to hear what you have to say, what Kyle has to say. And then you like a Pinal Jigger, where in Pinal Jigger you had all these personalities. Mm-hmm. And that was what led me from Nobu to there, because if I didn't know Dave, who Alicia was there, and then you had all these other guys, they're still there, like Liko. That elevated to Pinal Jigger, and I followed him over there. And then you had the people like a Quinn Mears, you had the people like a Kyle. It's the relationships. You're exactly right.
Yeah, it's 100% true. What was the drink that turned you on? Like, what was the first drink that you had that, like, in your brain you were like, oh, this is not a vodka soda, or this isn't Jägermeister, or
yeah, because being at Nobu, because you're at Nobu, and I'm thinking, okay, what are we drinking? Sake. And this was back in the day, right? So I look at the cocktail menu, and then there's these drinks called the Smoking Gun, the Business, all the things. And I gravitated toward the Business. The first ever drink I had from Dave Newman was the Business. And just because of the name sounded cool, and just because it was stuff that I didn't know what it was in there, and it was a whiskey. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell was going on. But it was like, it's called the Business. I got to do this. So it was just that uniqueness, and then finding out that he left Nobu the very next day, literally in the paper, former Nobu manager opens this bar called Pinal Jigger. I'm like, oh.
Was it really like that? Was it that quick?
I think he had something in the works for, it wasn't a big short gap. It wasn't a long gap.
Nice.
Yeah, because he had all the people ready to go, I think. And it was in an old location that used to be many different things. It's an old building. And I was like, oh, wow, it's right over there. We got to go check this guy out. He had there's the Scotch egg, and they had burgers. And I'm like, all right. That was week one, and been
We
there
were there the last week.
ever since. And yeah, I can't wait for them to reopen. You know,
I'm looking forward to it, man.
that's gonna be
It's gonna
something.
be cool.
It'll be very interesting.
Mhm.
But yeah, so the history is there. The stories are there. I would go to watch sports all the time because it was not really a sports bar. So you'd go in there, you wouldn't get harassed from a bunch of weirdos and a bunch of douches. You could just watch. And all the hipsters are drinking over there, and you can just sit there and you can just do this, and you'll be fine.
Just chill.
Right.
There's a dude that would come in, and he would come in at like happy hour, like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Stay for like 2 beers, watch whatever was on, whatever sports was on, and then just like kick out. But he came in like clockwork, like once a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know more about sports now than hi.
Yeah, there you go. See? Speaking of Pinal Jigger, and here she is. See, this is real world. She just came from Sam's Club. This is real talk here. We're people. They go shopping. We gotta do it. We gotta survive.
Did you get toilet paper?
No, but we got a lot of this. We got a lot of liquor. You see a lot of liquor in the shop, Tana. Here you go. What's this liquor? There's liquor coming in.
Oh, yeah.
That's
The
what
big guy.
we're doing shot challenges all night.
Good.
We're adding.
I've just ignored the shot challenges because I am at like a certain age where shots and I can't. It's too hard. Dude, when I worked at Rye,
Yeah.
we would in a night have easily, and the shift is like 3 or 4 in the afternoon until like 4 in the morning, right? By the time you close up, so that's door in, door out. And we would easily do 15 shots of tequila or whiskey or whatever we were drinking. And then at 2, pound a 6-pack of beer while we're cleaning the bar, right? If I have 1 shot of tequila now, I'm just like a mess. Like I can't handle it.
No can.
Yeah.
No can.
No.
So you're one of the lucky ones to not do a shot challenge.
I have not. I've ignored the shot challenge because
I called you out in one of them. So yeah, you can tell me F off and get out of here because I think I did.
Yeah, no, I just won't do it. I'm not doing it.
Won't
Because
do
I
it.
might be like wasted on my couch.
Right? I mean, we got other things to do. I mean, not really, but yeah. What have you been doing to keep yourself busy? So I know you've gotten into this with Kyle, but what's a day in the life for you?
I walk the dog a lot. But I also have I've been kind of playing with. I started writing a book. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if I'll get finished with it, but it's something that kind of keeps me occupied. But it's called My Life in 4 Shitty Mai Tais, because I can, throughout my entire career as a bartender,
Yeah.
I can point to 4 times that a Mai Tai was involved in how I went to the next page. So,
Ah, okay.
My Life in 4 Shitty Mai Tais by Jen Ackrill.
Nice. How long are you in this?
The first chapter.
That's-
It's just 4 chapters, right? Fuck it.
Gotta start somewhere.
It's harder than I thought. In my head, I was like, oh, this is going to be really easy because I know the 4 parts of it, right?
Yeah.
But to make it interesting, instead of me just telling you the story of how my grandpa had a bar in his basement, and instead of playing Barbies, I played bartender. You have to find a part of that that's interesting, and then to maybe expound on it to make it a little more interesting than
Right.
My grandfather used to come home and we hid in the closet, and he would not be able to find us for forever.
Right.
And then ta-da! And then he'd pull a bar stool up and he'd give us a towel and we'd just wipe the bar top down. But his bar was sick, dude. He had in the basement, the game room, right? He had a 4-seat bar that was a black leather tufted kind of thing. And then off to the side, he had every piece of glassware known to man, for cocktails. He had Pousse Cafe glasses, rocks glasses, Collins glasses,
Right.
martini glasses, all of them. And then on the other side of the bar, he had 5 little cocktail tables, 2 on the left side, 1 on the back, 2 on the right side that had Tiffany's lamps you were in TGI Fridays.
Right.
And yeah, he just entertained. He was ready for a party at any time.
Right. I mean, going back to your book, I think it comes down to, I think people just enjoy hearing people's stories. And if you do it as way as you tell it to me here, that's all you need to do, really. I mean, I think that's, for the base of it, I mean, I've never written a book, but I find it interesting. And I would say portraying what you're saying to me now
Sounds readable, right?
Exactly. Because this sounds human. This sounds we can relate to it. So.
And I think too that I think we're at like kind of a pivotal part in cocktail culture that like how many more like do people want another cocktail book? You know what I mean? Like the PDT cocktail book was like a really cool new book and it had new recipes in it. Jim Meehan's book is super cool. I haven't seen Ivy's from Landa. I feel that hers is probably gonna be pretty cool, but for the most part, like I feel that we've done the gamut of recipe books, you know? But I think that writing a book that tells a story, like maybe be like a Chelsea Handler kind of.
Exactly.
Like, you know, like that's fun. Like hearing stories of like bartending. Like, when you hear a bartender tell some crazy ass story about shit that happened,
of course,
you're like, that's impossible that happened.
Well, you got to also take into account that you're a female in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to hold a lot of weight as well.
Yeah.
Stories to hear a female tell what's going on in a usually predominantly male world. That's going to be that's going to keep very much so.
You know what's really interesting is that I think we lose track. So when I started bartending, the only thing that you needed to really have was a smile and boobs.
Right.
Because girls got hired like that, right? Because there was this idea that if you put a bunch of girls behind the bar, that it would fill the place up, which probably it just fills the place up with a bunch of dudes, and then other girls don't want to go to a bar that's like a bunch of dudes, right? Like everyone now knows like 50-50 is the best way. But I feel that yes, in craft cocktail culture, it's hard. It can be hard for girls to break into it, but like overall for bartending, like it's still kind of that way. Like in more bars than not, you just have to be kind of cute and, you know, charming.
Right. I'm going to go and take you back here. I'm going to go get up here.
Oh, this is cool. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I wore pants today. Usually I don't wear pants, so I'm going to just keep it PC here so I can stand up. Shout out to Antisocial Drinking Club as well.
Whoever you are.
Whoever you are, yes. I think he joined the chat, so he or she might be.
Tell us who you are.
Yeah, state your name. So I got a bunch of stuff here. I'm gonna go and grab some stuff randomly, and then your expertise on what I can do with this stuff. So we'll go to the bitter section. Now we got the bitter section onto the side of the wall. Now we'll throw in a couple of them. Now we've got the classic. Let's see if I can pull this in closely. Can you see this?
The Regan's Orange Bitters.
Regan's Orange Bitters, right?
Those are hard to get.
This one I actually got the last week of Pint being open, where Dave had all the layout of stuff. So there's that. So I got it from there. Why don't you give some chocolate bitters? And then he got the chocolate bitters as well. This is a staple. Chocolate bitters. You tell Dave, make whiskey, whatever. He's putting this in there.
You put that in there. Okay.
Always. So what would you do? Let's go to orange. For someone, an amateur, what would they do with the orange bitters? What would that go with? What base we start off with here?
Let's go. I would do gin.
Okay. So we just got newly stocked.
Yeah. Re-upped on the Sapphire.
Sapphire.
What else do you have back there?
Yeah, so this is what else we got. We got our whiskey. We got the old overhaul. We got that, but we also have Amaro. You can see that.
Which one is that?
That is. Can you see that?
Yeah. Ooh. Is that now? Is that one? Is it super bitter or is it? Take a sniff. What's it smell like?
Open. So I'm gonna open this one up live right now. This is live. I'm gonna try.
Put my glasses on so I can see what the hell's going on.
There we go. Yes. Here we go. I'm opening it. This is on the bitter end.
Does it smell like chocolate or celery?
More like chocolate.
More like chocolate. Is there lemon or orange in it? Like, can you smell lemon peel or orange peel? Close your eyes and sniff.
Yes, I do not smell that. Yeah.
Okay, but definitely like kind of chocolatey.
More chocolatey, yes.
All right, and then do you have any sweet vermouth back there?
Vermouth, yes. I keep the sweet vermouth in the refrigerator.
In the fridge. All right, let's get the sweet vermouth.
Okay, is that legal to do? To keep the sweet?
Yeah, you should keep it in the fridge.
So we got the sweet.
Yeah, we're gonna take it out. You have to take it out to use it.
Shout out my fridge. Yeah.
Yay!
Don't judge. And then we got the. All right. So then we got.
Yes.
Okay, so we got that. So are we looking at this gin?
Gin and the Amaro.
And the Amaro. Okay, so not the orange bitters. Okay.
No, the orange bitters too. The orange bitters too. We're gonna do all of it.
Okay. And then for that, then are we stirring this? Are we
Yeah,
we stirring the drink? Okay.
we're gonna stir it.
Okay. Gosh.
You're gonna make it?
I suppose but it's gonna be. I gotta figure out how to maneuver around here. So I'm gonna do this for you. Okay. So are we doing a? Am I gonna just get the glass and then I'm gonna put the?
You could just, you know what? We're at home. We're at home. We could just do it in the glass.
Okay. Oh wait a minute. Something's gonna happen.
Do you want me to hold it?
Oh wait. I actually have somebody. I have a cameraman that's gonna. We're gonna do this. Okay. So get ready. So don't Blair Witch this one. We're gonna have to. Maybe not. No. Wait.
That's the scariest movie ever made. You know that?
Forget it. Blair Witch, very underrated movie. Very underrated movie.
The scariest in the history of scary movies. The Blair Witch is the scariest movie ever.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. So, but like scary movies are all like you go do your shit, and I'll just talk about scary movies.
Go with it. Go with it.
Yeah. So scary movies, it's dependent on what scares the shit out of you, right? So for me, like movies like Saw that are like kind of gory but spooky, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Movies with clowns in it, clowns don't bother me, so that I don't find those scary. Like I could be scared, like if something jumped out, but it's not something that I'm really afraid of. But the Blair Witch Project, I'm afraid of the dark, and I'm afraid of the woods. So if you
No, you're
like
hitting. Because imagine being lost in the forest, right? And back we didn't have a phone, right? We didn't have GPS. You're done. You're
I
lost.
can't even.
Right.
As soon as it starts to get dark in that movie, I'm literally like this, like, oh, I can't even watch it. Oh, I can't.
Did you go to the theater for this?
Yeah. Yeah, I almost died. I thought I was gonna die. What are you just putting that shit in there without like you're just throwing stuff in there?
I'm doing much like how a man would cook. We're not doing anything. I don't have that kind of I'm doing this.
Wait, how much gin did you put in?
Put like enough. You see that? You
All right, okay. Are you measuring it?
Yeah. Putting in the vermouth now. We're putting in vermouth, and then this is the world premiere of the Amaro. This is I've never seen this yet.
So put less of the Amaro than you did of the vermouth, because if it's real fucked up, we can fix it.
Okay, got it. We're going
a little bit, like a scotch.
Gotcha. Okay, so we got that in there, and then finally the orange bitters is going to be going in.
Like 2 or 3 dashes of orange bitters.
Okay. Okay. And
right.
then
Do you have a lemon or an orange back there for a garnish?
no.
That's okay.
Okay.
Sure.
But then I wanted to show. Okay, so I think I have the tool. I have the tool.
You have the spoon? Okay.
Okay,
You know how to do it?
and then I know you stir from the side. You
Yeah.
rolls, right? And then you do
You're doing this thing here.
well, do I turn it?
No, you don't turn it. That's what the shit thing about that spoon is, that it makes you want to turn it. Here's the other thing. I find that people that are really smart have a hard time learning how to stir. Because you overthink it, because you're like, oh, and you're fighting with your natural want to stir it like this with this spirally bit, but you're just kind of
so that I should not turn. There she goes. Now we're gonna get something. Now you're getting something. Here we go.
See? All right. So it's just kind of like I don't know if it. So see how I'm pulling it towards me and I'm pushing it, pull, push, pull, push. So you're just basically, if you go like this, watch. If you do this in the air, so just spinning it in the air like this, kind of. You have to hold it like this, like you're holding a pencil.
Like pencil?
Kind of like you're holding a pencil.
Pencil, that?
Yeah. But so if you do it like this and you're just swirling it around in the air, and then if you keep it going so that the back stays along. Yeah.
Oh, you see? This is why she's on here, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Look at that.
That was awesome.
Just like that, okay.
But you know what, too? I've learned a better way to explain it to people, because I used to try and do the push-pull thing, and it just wasn't resonating. So I've learned if I teach people how to stir it in the air and then put it in the glass. But I feel that probably needs like a lemon zest. But
you can't have it. Okay, get ready. All right. very mapley.
It's mapley.
Mapley and like very woody. Does that make any?
That's why I think you need like a lemon peel on there that would kind of, if it's sweet, would cut the sugar on it a little bit.
Okay. I couldn't put like anything sweet in here to substitute that, right? It would be like, I don't
Do you
know.
have a lemon at your house?
No, we're not a lemon kind of family.
Really?
We're bananas.
You got bananas? Do you have like a calamansi tree out in the back?
Don't we all? No.
I do. I'm just saying. I'm like, I do.
That would work. Calamansi. I'm a fan of the calamansi. Yes, that works.
Point your banana at me.
Then
They're so good.
we can like, throw the calamansi and like cap it and like do that. But that's
All like in like everybody's doing in their thing.
right. That would work. But then
Like the hot nurses, like they take their stethoscope and they're like, no, and then they come back and they're all like, what's up?
exactly. That's gonna come. That's coming later. But then
I mean, bartenders.
this needs a citrus thing. You're right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
There's,
just need a little citrus on it. I'm interested to see Sha. I have that guy right here.
there you go.
Shout out to Kohana Rum.
Shout out Kyle Rutner. All this time
One
I'm
day we'll get.
Rutner, but it's Rutner.
Yeah, I say it wrong all the time. I think I say it Reut, like Reutner. Reutner.
That's close.
Like my German background, I'm like, that's how you say it.
Oh, okay. So am I. So you and I are both German.
I'm all kinds of boring white Eastern. Like I'm like German, French, and Irish.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's real boring.
we lost the war. I always tell people we lost. We blew it.
Yeah.
So go figure.
But now awesomely good in world politics and everything. So.
Right? They're doing better than we're doing in the U.S. right now. So,
Oh man, it is crazy right now.
yes. But one final thing before I let you go, I wanted to get your thoughts on your experience on when we eventually open up again. When things finally eventually open up again. Now we'll go hypothetically because we're not going to know. We don't know the answers to this. But
Yeah.
I asked Kyle this last week. What would you realistically, logically think of bars eventually opening up again? What would any type of rules be inside a bar? What would any regulations? What would change?
You know what I would like to see?
Yeah.
I'd like to see because I think people are going to be nervous to go out.
Yeah.
Right? But are still okay to kind of like congregate in their small social groups, right? People that they feel comfortable with, but not going out with people.
Yeah.
I'd like to see us be able to deliver cocktails to people. I think that would be a really cool thing to do to maybe like you could have like a commissary where you could have a different kind of liquor license.
Yeah.
Where you were just a delivery, because I've been thinking about this process. It would be no different as long as you kept track of like who your customers were and validating that they're 21, because I know that the argument's going to be like, well, how are you going to make sure that people that are drinking are 21, right? So as long as you make sure that all of your customers are 21, it would be the same as like selling liquor out of a store. Like once it goes out of the store and it's purchased by somebody that's 21, like you don't really know what's happening to it. Like you don't know if it's going to a parent's house and they're having cocktails with their kids or whatever. So there shouldn't be any kind of like discrimination in that way. But I'd really like to see that. I think it would be a cool way to transition back to like a new normal, or even have like, you know, Pinal Jigger or Bevy or whoever be able to do delivery or takeout in that regard. I know that we could do takeout, but it's just like the cocktail kits. But like really at this point, like if you're making a cocktail kit, why not just let the professionals do what they do best and let them make cocktails?
Right.
Yeah. But for me, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see like an additional type of liquor license.
Yeah.
That would be like a kind of like a dispensary sort of, right? That you just like grab and go.
Yeah.
Or delivery. And I think that would be really cool, because I think that would make people comfortable and it would generate revenue for, you know, bars and the state. Like everyone would win on that one.
Or not. Do you ever see us, well, maybe not in the near future, maybe a while from now, ever sitting on a bar top again?
I think so. I think humans need humans near them. And I think that's what you see like right now. So many people are like, I just want to like hug my friends.
Yeah.
You know, like that closeness that we have as humans. I don't think that will ever go away. I don't. I think that it'll take a little while for us to get back to it. But I think that overall, like, people like the community of a bar. They
Right.
have since the early, like the 1700s.
Right.
You know, they've liked it. So I think that we'll definitely get there. Just like when? That's like a crazy notion. You know what I'd like to see? If we can keep the coronavirus cases to like a very minimal here on the island, if we could be allowed to interact with each other, right? Like just to open for business within the island. Still no inter-island travel. Like, let's keep it, because we have like a very unique situation where we're able to, we can isolate.
Exactly.
You know? Because we got thousands of miles of ocean around us, keeping it safe. So as long as we keep, and this sounds really horrible, but keep people out to keep the community safe, right? Yeah. And then we could be back on a kind of like get a little more regular. You know, we could get some bars open. We could, have some social outings. Go to the beach and not worry about it. But I guess like the next couple weeks is crucial to see how it goes. But everyone's been cool about it.
No, you're exactly right. It's gonna be a process. It's not gonna happen overnight where we're gonna dedicate a certain day to be like, okay, everyone, let's all go out. Let's all open.
Yeah. Would you go out if it was like tomorrow and they said everything's open, fuck it, go? Would you go, or would you be like?
The first thing I'm gonna say is why. Why are you designating tomorrow to be this? So then, can you give us an answer why? And then we go from there. What kind of answer they give will validate of anything. That will determine. If they're, this whole thing was a joke. We were just playing around. I'm like,
dude, there's people that believe that the whole thing's a hoax. It's so crazy.
Yeah, guys, no.
Yeah, we shut the whole country down for a hoax.
Yeah.
Fools. Yeah, just kidding. It's so nuts.
I mean, it's the greatest accomplishment of the internet. This is the internet's greatest accomplishment.
Dude, we are so lucky there's an internet.
And then the bad factor, right? So it's good and bad, right? So the internet for the information, and then internet caused
the information.
The magnitude of this, the anxiety of this, the whole situation. I mean, we've never gone through it.
Yeah.
But in the positive,
I had said, like, moving here, my experience moving here is far different than anybody that had moved here 5 years before me because of the internet and because of like social media, because it's way easier. But I can imagine like moving here, like when people talk about island fever, I don't think that's something that is really existent right now. I mean, a little bit, but you have so much interaction with like the rest of the world with the internet and social media. We're
a lot more connected than ever before.
Yeah, it's way easier.
And it really holds in with the day to day, because you're seeing like everybody that's on social media that's seeing the notifications again and again, Facebook articles again and again.
Yeah,
they're holding true to the whole staying home thing. Mm-hmm. If you go out to the market or Sam's Club, all the elderly are out. They're all out, and they could give a rip. It seems like. And
like fuck it.
They are big, a lot of markets going on, and it's probably because they don't have internet, social media, TV. They probably don't have a computer.
Oh yeah.
On their phones, so they look at the newspaper and then 6 o'clock news maybe, and then all right.
Yeah.
And then because it's all that I don't see anybody around anywhere near our demographics. If I go to the market, it's always elderly, like 70, 80. And they're the ones getting sick too, so I don't know.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. Like, get your ass home.
Right? I just don't think...
I'll get it for you. Go home.
I mean, there's never anybody of anywhere near... There's nobody younger. I don't see... Well, spring break, there was a lot of younger. But now, I guess, doing the online school, whatnot, but...
You wear your mask everywhere?
Yes.
Do you have a fancy mask?
No. I wish. But
I didn't know if like somebody like sent you like some cool like hip hoppy awesome like a rap mask.
Wow. We just created a new company.
It's a rap mask.
Then on it, we're time to be creative. We gotta make rap masks. You have a creative mask? Do you have something?
You know what? My husband is a saint, and and 2 years ago when I thought he was crazy, now I'm like, he's a genius. When Kilauea was kicking off,
Yeah.
He went and he got like, we have 4 N99s, not N95s, N99s. And then we have 2 kind of cool black masks that
Okay.
have like the filter that you can take out and wash, and then the other filter on it.
Okay.
But we've had it for like 2 years. We also have one of those straws that if shit gets real bad, you can drink out of a puddle.
Go.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, the Ackrill household is set. We also have like cans of water that don't expire and all kinds of.
Oh, right. Of course. Corned beef
Yeah,
hat.
Kilauea happened,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Kill.
it was like Kilauea, the missile crisis thing. Yeah, he got real serious and he was like, okay, we're going to make sure that we have stuff. And he's English, so I can't even do his accent. Like, all right, okay,
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Well,
He's very prepared.
yeah. Uh, where's he working before? Because I remember him at 12th Avenue Grill.
Yep, he's there, and then he went to Senia, and he just
Got it.
he just stopped working at Senia, and then he went to La Vie. He was at La Vie for like 2 weeks, and they were like, "Gotta go."
Well, got a question. Here. Got a question for you. I guess this was kind of answered earlier, but let's go with it. Kathy with a K says, "How are you making sense of what's happening overall?"
Wait, what was that?
How are you making sense of what's happening overall in the whole big picture here? I think we covered that.
You could follow me on any of the social media because I'm pretty public about like my emotions. The first day that I went out, I went to Costco, and I don't do well at Costco normally. Like it's overwhelming for me because when I go in, all I see is a bunch of stuff that's going to go into the trash. And that comes from living in California for the better part of like 15 or 16 years. So I see like a whole entire store of trash, and then I'm like, oh my God, that's one store of trash. And then there's how many Costco's in the whole country, and then Sam's Club, and it's all trash, and it's all gonna like, yeah. So I already have a good, healthy anxiety when I go into Costco. Yeah. But I went in, and it was the first time that I was out, and I had like, I don't wear gloves anymore.
Okay. You don't do the gloves.
No, I don't, because I feel that as long as you wash your hands before you eat, you're okay. And if you just, I wash my hands a lot now. But I had like the blue gloves on and the mask, and the first, like I was in line and I started crying because it was overwhelming, and I was just like, this is really weird. Like the reality of it got really heavy at that moment. Yeah. And I just went into like the back corner of Costco and just had like a little cry. And then I was like, but I think you have to be really like, you got to let your feels happen, you know? Yeah. Because like, and I think it's important to put it on social media to let people know that like, not like, it's crazy to think that everybody's just like having a great time and we're all like making masks and doing puzzles and totally everything's great, but it's not. Like, this is fucked up. Like, this is super crazy. And my feelings get hurt whenever people that like essential workers are like, I can't wait to be non-essential. And I'm like, I don't want to be non-essential. Like, I feel I am essential, but I'm staying home, and everybody else that I know is staying home to make it better for everybody else. So we're sacrificing what we love to do for the greater good. And by saying that's non-essential, I think negates the power of what we're doing. Yeah. Like, none of us want to be sitting at home. There's not one of us.
Right.
We all want to be behind a bar or taking care of people or making food or like whatever we all do, cutting hair, all of it, you know?
This has never happened before. Everybody is on the same page and we all got shut down.
Yeah. Quick. It was quick. And I think that's the thing too, that it was so fast that it's hard to process it. You know, we're like, the first week we were like, oh, okay, well, all right, we're just going to sit here. And like, I think we're coming into that time where we're going to get frustrated and start getting angry. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see the next couple of weeks to see what happens. All
right. I mean, the psychological factors of this, it's nowhere near over. It goes through phases, right? Everybody goes through different phases. Everybody's going to have the different way of dealing with this emotionally. And
yeah. And I think people need to say that. Like, just be like, yo, today's shit. It's crap. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Vent. This is the time. Yeah. Because we're all going to be hearing you. Because we're all on the same page, and we're all going to be at home reading this or watching it. So we're good. So, one more weird thing out. Okay, we're going to end on this. you heard of cauliflower rice?
Yeah.
You know about this? Okay, so everybody loves the cauliflower rice. They think it's an excuse, right, to not eat rice. We can just eat cauliflower and it'll solve our problems.
It's
So
like the zucchini noodles. It's bullshit.
the zucchini, exactly. So we have cauliflower fried rice.
Oh.
Eggs, put the bacon in there, put sausage in there, chocolate bitters, and then you mix it around, and there you go. This is look at this. Look at this right here.
Is it good?
It's actually tolerable. It's actually okay. Yeah, it's actually
I
okay.
think what it's probably missing is like the toothiness of rice, right? Because the texture is what you're missing.
Exactly.
Fucking those zucchini noodles.
Because then if we open up again, I don't know if we're gonna be able to tell. Here's some more 3D.
It smells delicious.
I tell you, it's all meat, really. It's basically all meat. And then there's oyster sauce you put in there. That's like one of the tricks. And then you put like a little bit of sugar. And
Oh, nice. That might happen.
there you go, guilt free. Yeah.
Kind of, except you're eating a bunch of meat.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we gotta get it. Everyone's gonna tell us to shut up at this point. We've gone long over an hour. They're gonna shut our internet down.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Great times. We'll do this again.
Yeah, dude.
We don't get cut off. Be safe out there. Be healthy out there. Thai food for the win.
Yeah, man. Ladies.
Thank you everyone that joined the chat as well. See you guys. We're out.
Bye, guys.